All right, collectors, thanks for joining me today on the channel. Today, we're going to talk about my top 10 figures of 2023. Now, I'm not going to do a video on Mezco, Marvel Legends, X product, Y product, Z product. I'm not going to do 30 videos of 30 different lines. I'm just not. It's out of control. I'm going to do just one video of the top 10 figures that mattered to me or that, I really, really liked. So let me give you some standards that I graded on and how I came to the conclusion of where I'm at. And I'll also say, look, these are fun to make, but this is my list. Your guys' list will vary and probably should vary, as I always say. You guys, America's a country full of many different opinions, and as long as there have been, Americans, there's going to be a difference of opinions. That's what our country was founded on. So it's okay to have your opinion. I have mine. You may agree with my selections. You may not. And that's even better, right? If you put it in the comments and let me know, hey, I agreed on this thing, or I don't agree on this because of this. That's fine. I love constructive criticism. It always shows us how to get better. So yeah, maybe you have your top 10 list. Please share it in the comments below, and let's discuss, whatever, that's fine. Dig it. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what criteria did I use to select this? And again, I'll try to be brief on these things so we can just get right to the nitty gritty. But I think if I don't tell you what I used to select this, you're going to be wondering, right? What are the top 3 things that I used to make this selection? Number 1 is it's an action figure. It's the first thing in the name, action, articulation. Does it articulate well? Does it articulate great? Does it articulate fantastically? And the other thing that is very closely tied into it is, how does it look? What is the aesthetic of it? Does it look great? Because you can have a highly articulated stick figure and I don't care a doggone bit for it, So, articulation and aesthetic are closely tied together. And if you did one thing better than the other, you didn't make the list. I mean, if you got a 0 on one thing and 100 on the other, you just didn't make the list, because a figure with no articulation is not an action figure, it's a statue. An articulated figure with no aesthetic, well, it's just a wooden stick or a piece of plastic, a piece of plastic man. Anybody can put that together, like a buck body or a blank body. All right, what was the tiebreaker for those two, right? Because they're so closely joined. Well, I'll tell you, these lists are highly subjective. I mean, like I said earlier, my opinion differs from your opinion, differ from a bunch of other toy tubers' opinion, and that's okay. It's healthy. It's healthy to have different opinions. Who wants a cookie cutter society where everybody just says the same thing? How boring. So anyways, the tiebreaker is how the figure made me feel. Did it put a smile on my face? Was it something that I'd been expecting for a long time? Was it something that was just, when I got it, it brought up some nostalgic and I had to immediately get into it, right? So that's the other X factor, right? And that's something that companies just sometimes don't have the ability to influence. How, they can make educated decisions, but how does the figure make you feel? I guess they could look back at nostalgia and what really hit, or maybe conduct some research and then they could figure that out. But otherwise, it's the X factor. How did it make you feel, right? So let's start off with the 10 honorable mentions. I've got it's a 10 honorable mentions and a top 10, because there's so much, as horrible as that worst, most disappointing list was. And I kind of didn't enjoy making it, but like I said, it was kind of cathartic to go through and kind of maybe provide some feedback to the organizations or the companies that made these toys. I don't know if they watch them. I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but maybe they'll learn something from watching those things. And it was also, like I said, a release just to get it out of the way. Maybe you guys felt the same. And it actually did help, like I said, to provide some cathartic release for some of the figures that we thought were subpar. So in a way, it did do some good. Anyways, this list was a joy to make. It was absolutely super fun to create. But yeah, we're gonna do a whole list, all the different characters. And let's start off with the honorable mentions. Honorable mention number 1. And we're gonna start off with this guy right here. And it absolutely is recent bias. I have yet to find, this year, I never found a figure that I ripped open the box. And when I got this goofy figure from McFarlane, number one, I had a hard time with the $30, but number two, it's so out of left field and it's so perfectly colored and designed and such a wacky character. I don't know what's happening to me, y'all, but I usually don't go for these type of figures. I go for the military style. But when I saw this superhero Carrot, Captain Carrot, I loved it. It made me laugh. It made me feel happy. I ripped open that package and started messing around with it immediately. So, number 1 on the honorable mentions list, and the honorable mentions list aren't in any, real, order of priority. They're just honorable mentions. So don't get that part twisted. The top 10 is the one that's put in a specific order. So, I haven't really played with it enough. I haven't really done a bigger review on it, but Captain Carrot is the first honorable mention. Now, moving on. Number 2, Covert Condor. Here we go. Oh, the controversial Covert Condor and his buddy next to him. I really like this figure. Not because it's, super original or anything, not because of the, it's well articulated. It looks good. Is it super original? Not really. It's just a guy wearing some Hawaiian type stuff, looking kind of cool. But the thing was, there was one factor that Bobby got right, and that was the X factor. He really got that right. He pulled us back into the, you know what? You mail me your action points and I'll send you this free figure. It wasn't free, but he did charge a little bit. But hey, $14 is a far cry from what they usually cost. I think it's like $32 for his figures. It was a joy. It just made me feel so happy to kind of put together my action points and send them off. Put a smile on my face when I got it. He made the process seamless, very easy. And for that reason, he's on the honorable mentions list. Mr. Condor himself, the mail-away version. All right. Number 3, Gridiron. Boom. Scrap Iron. Gridiron. Scrap Iron. Scrap Iron with his little drone. When I saw that, number 1, this figure just looks amazing. The helmet looks amazing. His face, oh, look at that face. Only a mother could love that face. So when I saw this, I was like, this is awesome. The aesthetics is there. The aesthetics are there. The value is there. If you haven't picked it up for $29, $20, this is a great figure. He's got lots of cool little parts. He's well designed. Just everything looks amazing for this figure. But it just wasn't enough for me to kick it up into the top 10, but it's still a very, very good figure. Very well done. So that's why it's on the honorable mentions list. And again, when Hasbro does something good, and again, I collect a lot of Hasbro, and there's going to be some Hasbro on here. And there was some Hasbro on the horrible side too, the worst, most disappointing line. I'm going to tell you, when Hasbro does good, I'm going to tell you. I'm a equal opportunity criticizer and complimenter. So, number 4, or actually no, yes, number 4, Mr. Bloodshot. There he is back there. Let me get Grunt out of the way. I don't want to knock everything over, but he's back there next to the Christmas wreath. Here, let me try and bring him up closer a little bit. There we go. He was leaning back there. I really like this figure just because one of my favorite, growing up, he doesn't have all the articulation. There's some articulation that's missing there, and some things are out of scale. But I really like this figure, and I'm definitely going to buy. I've already pre-ordered the one that's coming out. That's a variant of this one. So when I saw this figure, I played with it for a little while. It brought a smile to my face. I really like all the accessories that he comes with. Some things could use a little help, but for the most part, this is a very, very nice figure. So for that reason, I'm going to, put him in the honorable mentions list. So number 5 on the honorable mentions list, in no particular order other than, they're on the list, is the Range Viper. Aesthetically, I actually like, I haven't even opened it yet. The Fireteam Range Viper looks better to me, but this guy, when I first opened him, his aesthetics were almost there. But now this blue and black color scheme have kind of grown on me. And the figure itself, all the stuff that he comes with, just the look of it, this figure just blew me away, really, except for, like I said, the color scheme is a little bit off, but I love the Fireteam version of him. For that reason, he deserves a spot on the honorable mentions list. So great job on this one, Hasbro. Not so great on eventually getting distributed from Walmart. Walmart is a joke, man, with that distribution. As a matter of fact, I still, I had to... Anyways, you saw my Walmart story that I had on Wolf Spider, and if you didn't, go check that out. But Wolf Spider and Shadow Tracker, boy, what a mess that is still. So anyways, Range Viper, really great. I really enjoyed it. But, Walmart did kind of make those available later on, so you had to just keep an eye out. And this one's a really odd one. I'll put a picture of him right here because it's not really an action figure company, right? But it's very, very action figure adjacent. Oh gosh. And that is Gridiron. The Gridiron company put a smile on my face because of all the little props and guns and masks. Like I just recently did this guy right here, which is a combination of Action Force Trooper and some of a Gridiron assault pack number 2 loadout with this weapon. That mask, it looks great, and that machete. I mean, just a really great, they just do great work with all the little different things that they provide for your action figures, that you can add some depth to them, some life to those figures. So for that reason, Gridiron deserves an honorable mention. Even if it doesn't have an action figure, they provide so much joy into the line. And again, I know they're pricey, but they're an American company, and I'm always going to support an American company if possible. And I support Gridiron. So anyways, moving on from that, number 7, and this is a weird one because, and here's the thing about this one, I actually, on an honorable mentions list, number 7, this is a weird one because I actually bought it not for this figure, but I was not even looking forward to this figure. I was going to put it this is one of the surprises of the year to me. I was literally going to take this figure and put it in an eBay lot and just sell it. Well, Mr. Super Skrull, what a tremendous figure this guy is. He's got, I wish he would have come with a kind of a grip hand, but I probably can find a grip hand somewhere to put on him. But wow, this guy, he's got all the right articulation. He moves great. He does great. His face is well sculpted. That Spider-Man that Spider-Woman that came with this guy is absolute trash. But this guy is the bomb. Very, very nice. Very nice. So, and again, we're picking these 20, top figures out of a mountain of plastic that we got this year. So, Mr. Skrull, fantastic work. I'll put you over here on the side somewhere. Don't stand too close to Mr. Cobra Commander doesn't like his spot. Yeah, I'll just put you over here. Mr. Cobra Commander doesn't like his spotlight taken. Anyways, moving on past that. The other figure that surprised me came right out of left field because I have a ton of these figures already, but I wasn't expecting this, and that is the Feral Predator from NECA. This Predator is built different, y'all. If you have a bunch of Predator action figures, His plastic is different. His articulation's different. He's got tremendous. Just everything is well done with this figure. So for that reason, he deserves a spot on the honorable mentions list. I mean, I was very surprised with it and happily surprised. So it brought a smile to my face when I started messing with it. I wish they'd do more of the Predators in that fashion than with their other plastics, that other brittly, junky stuff. But I like what they do aesthetically with their Predators, is that a lot of times they fail in the articulation and durability part, because they do great in the aesthetics and in the emotional X Factor type of call to you. Anyways, moving on. The next one I love so much, or I liked so much, it's on the honorable mentions list, and that's number 9. Feral Predator was number 8. Arctic Bat is number 9. Here he is. Now you're going to say, wait a minute, that Arctic Bat looks funky. What's going on with that Arctic Bat? You're right. This Arctic Bat is. I like this figure so much. I said, there's so much more that can be done here for this figure. I cannot, in good conscience, not execute one of these better. And so what I did was I took some washes to it. I definitely, changed his look a little bit, gave him some wear and tear, recolored that. There's a video on it. There's a whole video on when I go over and, kind of repaint this guy, touch him up a little bit, make him look great. Well, in my opinion, he looks way better, but I get it. There's only so much you could do at the factory, and eventually you have to say, okay, well, we got to just release it with what we got. Let's go. So anyways, that Arctic Bat, very, very cool figure. I like the new head sculpt that they did, so much so that I like it even more than the old head sculpt. That head sculpt is tremendous. Love it. Great head sculpt. And finally, the last figure that we have on the top 10 list, I wasn't expecting much from this guy at all. Oh, I didn't want to start knocking these down. And he's a heavy one to knock down. You don't want to mess with him. He's a heavy one. All right. I wasn't expecting much out of this guy at all. But when I broke him out of the package and started messing with him, I mean, I was completely shocked at how great he was. Great articulation, great look. Love the skull, love the rebreather on him, that gas mask. Just a classic looking, cool assassin figure. That's what I wanted, and that's what I got. Great articulation. Great work. I got Sergeant Skull from 5K Toys. He was the version 2, because apparently there was a version 1 that had some QC issues that I wasn't aware of. But anyways, that's the last of the top 10 honorable mentions list. Now let's get going. Let's get into the top 10 list, the official top 10 list. Here we go. I'll put a graphic here. Top 10. There you go. All right. The number 10 on the list. And I know it's going to be controversial. How dare you? How dare you pick him? He's so rudimentary. Well, remember what I told you guys about what are my key points, right? Number 1, aesthetics. This looks like the grunt that we had of old. Boom, straight up. It just does. Number 2, articulation. He articulates marvelously. Yes. Although this is getting kind of loose now. I'm probably going to have to take some of that tacky and put that on there. Number 3, the X Factor. How does he make you feel? Not only does this figure take me back to the roots of the grunt figure. I really liked it. And I was going to buy a whole bunch of them regardless of what it was. But then when that Target mistake became widely known for $11.99, every time I bought as many as I could find for that price. And there's no excuse, because they even had the wrong price online. So if you didn't get them for $11.99, it's, I guess, because you were just paying attention and the price was wrong for like a week or 2. I mean, it was plenty of time for people to take notice, and it was all over the chat boards or the Facebook posts and stuff. So every time I look at this figure, aesthetics, articulation, and the X Factor, which is taking you back to the G.I. Joe of old, and the giant smile across my face for getting most of these for $11. So he takes the number 10 spot. Great work, Mr. Grunt. Outstanding. All right. Number 9, another one that's a little bit controversial. And that is Renew Your Vows, Mr. Spidey. Here he is. And now you say, well, why is he controversial? I don't think. Well, he's controversial because a lot of people didn't want to pay that price for him, right? They were like, hey, why don't we get this buck separately or whatever? And we did get that buck separately. I think we got it with the Gamerverse Spidey where he articulates his toes. But anyways, this figure makes me smile because to me, this figure represents what a real Spidey should look like. Now, some of you are going to say, well, he was from 2022. Well, I didn't happen to pick him up until 2023. And guess what? It's also my list. So, sorry. I guess, I don't know. Is that cheating? I don't know. It's my list. I don't know. But to me, Renew Your Vows Spidey is because I got him in 2023, you know, the early part of January. For some reason, I forgot what company I put my pre-order in, but they sat on it and sat on it and sat on it until it cleared, and I didn't feel like, I mean, I already had this Spidey, which I consider the ultimate Spidey right here, Sentinel Spidey. So I didn't feel so hurt when he wasn't ready to come out. So anyways, moving on from that controversial pick. So let's take a look. Well, I'm going to put him right here because I don't want to take him out of the display. He's in a very involved diorama. So I'm not going to mess with him. And that is Veteran Williams is number 8 on the top 10 figures of 2023 to me. And the reason why he's on there is because number 1, what did I say it was based on, right? Articulation. He articulates tremendously well. Number 2, aesthetics. He looks fantastic. He invokes a special kind of, world. It's almost like world building with these Fu-Ray characters now. So, and number 3, the X Factor, I smile every time I look at that guy. So it captures my imagination. So to me, Veteran Williams, great work, Fu-Ray Company. I look forward to seeing more. Now, I didn't like the Blade Master that much. I think he had some work to do there, but that Veteran Williams was really nice. And you really got 2 action figures for the price of 1 because you could kind of remove some of his limbs and turn him into a completely feral werewolf. So you could either have a completely feral werewolf or you could have a kind of a civilized soldier type of werewolf. Both of them look fantastic. Now, number 7, a little bit of a departure here. I didn't feel like putting them all up here, but to me, it's Jada's Street Fighter series. The entire series is number 7 for me. Top figures, top. They're providing tremendous value, tremendous articulation for about 25 bucks. I think the secret's out, guys. You can execute really great figures for not a lot of cash. So for a toy company that has been known for producing cars, oh my gosh, they got it right. They got it almost perfect with the articulation and look and everything and all the accessories that they're throwing at us. The secret's out. If you're telling me that it costs $40, $50 to build these figures, I think you might be full of something that doesn't smell good. So anyways, Jada, for that reason, that entire Street Fighter line is, on my top 10 list. Number 7, Ryu, Chun-Li, and Fei Long. Great work with that. All right, number 6, Hasbro. Why did it take so long, Hasbro? Why? Why did she take so long to execute masterfully? A masterfully executed Black Widow, because she's a spy, you threw in 3 heads, lots of articulation, spider-like articulation. That's the only thing we wanted. A great value for your dollar right here. Just nothing but praise. This is a very well executed female action figure. Great work. Just when you do right, I have to let you know you did right. All right. Let's see. Who are we going to look? Oh, yes. Number 5. Number 5. Mezco, you had some real stinkers this year, but with this guy right here, you made up for it. Roadblock, my man, looking awesome. Great G.I. Joe figure. Destro I thought was pretty good too, but he's not quite up here. But I mean, all the accessories that Roadblock comes with, all those head sculpts, the articulations on point. Roadblock, fantastic work, Mezco, fantastic work. I think if we could get more of these, it would be fantastic. So maybe just use this buck. I don't know. This is great work, Mezco. You did good, man. That's why I feel so badly whenever you give us crap figures, man. Crap articulation. And you know you give us this crap articulation. But this figure here, top 10. Top 10. All right. Moving on. Mezco Roadblock number 5. Number 4 was a figure that's been spotlighted this entire video. And you'll see what I mean in just a moment. When I received this figure, it was part of a set. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to order it. Maybe they'll do it right. But I doubt it. I bet they're going to do it like that craptastic female figure in the Steel Corps pack or whatever. Or maybe the Steel Corps. Anyways, I just wasn't looking forward to it because Hasbro has an absolutely atrocious ability to learn from their mistakes. But much to my surprise, happily, delight, we got ourselves the Valkyries. I've already got about 5 packs of these Valkyries. They are tremendous. They look fantastic. They articulate well. They're aesthetically pleasing. And they just did. These things sold out several times online. You know, for all you action figure guys or action figure executives or toy companies, female figures don't sell well. Well, they will sell well if you do them correctly. If you do them like this, if you give them the articulation they deserve and the design that they deserve, then they'll sell well. If you give them, where is that one figure that I want to throw across the room? Hey, this is supposed to be a happy one. Happy. If you give us crap articulation, we won't buy your crap because it's crap. So anyways, back to where you were spotlighted at, Valkyrie. There you go. Oh gosh, that's why this is not a kid show. What is it that he says? Sorry, children. Anyways, moving on to number 3, and I've just started messing with this guy, and I'm really excited about it. I've already actually put him up, but I ordered 3 more. Now you might be shocked and say, "Wow, that's a lot of flow, dude." I just learned that word. Apparently, it's a lot of flow. I don't know what that means, but I hope I used it right. Here you go. Green Goblin. Now, I bought Green Goblin when I reviewed him. I think I reviewed him, yeah. When I reviewed him, I wanted to talk about the articulation isn't super great, but as a deluxe set, as a package, he is an incredible value. This glider, the design on his suit, the face sculpt is on point. It's better than that other $170, $60 figure that, who is it, Mafex or what other company put out, has done. A great figure on a great little vehicle, and I'm going to use these vehicles for a project. That's why I bought these vehicles and the head sculpts. But I don't think this figure is going to come down in value. I mean, on that particular deluxe set, Hasbro, great job. I would have liked some more pumpkin bombs already. Why don't you give us some more pumpkin bombs? I feel weird. Why don't you give us some more plastic pumpkin bombs? I guess I could make some. Jeez. All right, moving on. Now, number 2, this particular figure, again, a female figure. What? Another female figure? Yes, toy executives, if you do them right, we'll buy them. We'll buy them. fools. This is another female figure that I looked for, that I clamored for, that I really wanted, and it kept eluding me. But ultimately, I was patient. Ultimately, the person who was producing these was true to his word. Everybody just had to hold on a minute. And I finally managed to get not one, but two. One to take out of package and one to have the man himself sign it, Mr. Bobby Vala's Warpath Eclipse #2. Now, why did I pick her? Again, articulation, all there. It's all on point. #2, aesthetics. The aesthetics are on point. Looking fantastic. Several head sculpts. And #3, it evoked some serious gotta have it. Gotta have this figure. So every time I look at this figure now, I smile. I smile and it brings me happiness. And after all, that's why we do this, isn't it? So there you go. So we'll put her right back here. Great work, Mr. Bobby Vala. Thank you for staying true to your word and ensuring that everybody who wanted a Warpath would get a Warpath. But it was so funny trying to get these. He would make you sign vouchers on there to not sell them online. But did that stop the scalpers? Did that stop Scalpy McScalperson? It sure didn't. I think people are still trying to sell her for 2 times as whatever she's worth. You could go on Bobby Vala's website and just buy her. So, anyways, and finally, the man that takes the #1 spot on my list because it checked off all 3 of those things that I was looking for very well, tremendously well. Now, all of these figures that I have up here, with the exception of maybe Zorana, Zorana's not a good figure, but she makes me laugh. So I always have her up here because she makes me laugh. She reminds me like a crazy, crazy person. And the exception of maybe I made Tiger Force Duke look good. But anyways, the 90% of the figures that are up here, absolutely, really liked. Great figures. But this figure in particular, this figure just barely missed this Black Panther figure. These 2 Black Panther figures are actually really good too. The Iron Man suit one and just this one who's sitting at Ollie's sometimes, the classic Black Panther. This is a great figure as well. So I don't know why people didn't buy that one. This is a great figure and that's a great figure. This is expensive. This one's at Ollie's. I picked up about 4 of these Black Panther figures because they're tremendous. They make me smile. Now, okay, that's enough. Let's get to the #1 figure of the countdown. And that's right. It checked off all the right spots. Everything looking awesome. We knew that he was going to be a good one. Well, we didn't know, but we hoped. And that is Mr. Cobra Commander Mickey Mouse version. Yes, in the end, this is the guy that checked off all of, with 10s. Does he articulate well? Check. Is he aesthetically pleasing? Does he recall, is he what was promised to us? Check. Is he running for an election? Check. Does he make you feel happy when you look at him? Abso-freaking-lutely. And so for that reason, and I'm sorry that some of you guys didn't back the hiss, and I'm sorry that some of you guys, I'm not sorry. I mean, you had every opportunity to do it. You could have sold some of your stuff and, some of your other action figures and picked them up. I think now you can pick them up on the secondary market for, $100. I think it's still about thereabouts. But it is a great figure. Now, I'm sure we're going to get this buck again, but maybe not the Mickey Mouse symbol and maybe a shade of a different color as well. But for me, this figure checked all the boxes. So, guys, that's it. That's my list. If you've gotten this far, thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. This was very awesome to do. This was fun to do. And I really enjoyed it. Just to wrap up, again, this, you know, when companies do right, I like to tell them when they do right. It's up to us as collectors and customers to let them do when they're on the right, to let them know when they're on the right track and when they suck. So it's up to us to let them know. So anyways, great work. Most of these figures on here were awesome. Continue to be awesome. A couple of things to wrap up. Number one, I'm working on a riddle. You know, I always like to do, you know, riddles for giveaways. First person to solve it wins. So I'm working on that. And I'm also working on, I hope to get this done in the next couple of days, a new custom vehicle, a large vehicle that's not so hard to acquire. And get this, I only spent $17 on it. Shocking! So that's the good part there. A little bit of elbow grease and 17 bucks. You got yourself a very cool, larger vehicle. So, and this one, oh man, I think you guys are gonna love it. You guys are gonna love it. So I'm hoping to get that done here in the next couple of days. Stay tuned. And maybe tomorrow we'll just pop up. Well, tomorrow we have to do the news, and then we have a little hunting video going up between then. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to leave your list in the comments below, or let me know where I just totally got it wrong. Those are fun too. But like I said, everybody's got their own opinion. Everybody's got one. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. As long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep rolling these out. Give me a high five, Cobra Commander. Give me a high five. All right.